Here is my 2009 Idaho bull. Uh, as you can see, blew off two eye guards. Super heavy old bull. Um, we this was the draw tag. We four of us drew tags. My dad drew a tag, brother-in-law and his buddy, and then his brother-in-law's dad had a cow tag, I think, for the area. So, but super massive bull, as you can see. I mean, he's just super heavy. He's heavy to pick up even. But I actually worked night shift the night before the season, so I didn't get off work till 5:30 in the morning, and had to drive to Idaho. So I drove about 4.5 hours, 5 hours to get. It was longer than that, probably closer to 6 by the time we got there. But my dad drove in the morning because I was trying to sleep. Um, got to a town, filled enough gas, had service there. I get a text message that says, "Hey, when you get to camp, get your backpack. We killed two 6-point bulls already." I was thinking, oh crap, I probably missed it, because we'd scouted this area and there was just tons and tons of elk, tons of bulls. It was ridiculous almost. And so got there, got the camp, got my backpack on, which I hadn't slept much at all. A couple hours on the way there. Been up all the way since the previous day. I think it was probably 1:30, and I wake up working night shift. So I worked a 12-hour shift and then headed out. Um, so we got there, headed down in the canyon. I don't think I took a rifle. I might have took a rifle, but I don't think I did because I was like, I don't have energy to kill one at this point. So they had two 6 points way down the bottom of this basin. Got a load, took a load out. By the time we got out, it was dark, so couldn't hunt. And I thought, well, we'll go back in the morning, hunt our way in the morning. And this is the second day of the hunt. We went about 200 yards down in there. Bull bugled next ridge over, so those guys went ahead and packed meat. And I thought, well, I'll call this one for my dad. He just turned 60, and he'd never killed a bull before, so he'd hunted a lot, but just never had luck to kill one. So went down that ridge, bugled this bull up to about 250 yards. Nice, like 280, 290, 6-point. My dad shot him, dropped him on top of the ridge, rolled down a little ways, but so we worked on that bull while those guys were packing meat. And then once they packed out their bull, I was, shoveling meat best I could up out of there, getting to the ridge. So they helped us and get all the meat out once they got their meat out. So it was like 3 in the afternoon, 3:30 by the time we got all three of them bulls out of there. And thank God there was 4 or 5 of us, got them out. But we were beat. I mean, it's a long ways down in there, and I was tired from working shift work, and we thought, let's go for a road hunt. Well, that road hunt quickly turned into a lot of elevation drop, and brother-in-law's buddy actually went with me, and he had to be back to work to Coeur d'Alene the next day. We were a long ways from there, and he went with me. We've seen this bull had 30 some head of cows, probably huge body. I mean, this bull was huge. I couldn't put my arms around his neck. That's how big he was. Body wise, he was probably a foot taller than the other 6-point he's with when I shot him. They're standing kind of close together. He was bugling a little bit. I'd snuck down and left my backpack, so I only had the bullets in my gun. And I snuck down. It was about 80 yards from when I shot him, and shot him from a rim rock going down pretty steep. Um, Shot him 3 times, and then ran out of bullets. I had no bullets left because they were on the rim above me with the other guy. And I'm freaking out because this bull is not dying. I'm thinking I'm missing him the whole time. And he takes off, and then pretty soon I hear rocks rolling and antlers hitting rocks, and realized he was dead at that point. But I didn't realize how big he was until I walked up on him. I mean, he was just massive. He's the biggest bodied bull to this day, I've ever seen on the ground. I mean, just body. I mean, his body was just huge. He was an big old bull. Like I said, doesn't have the longest tines, but he's got lots of mass. That was brutal though, because we got back to the pickup, packing him out. It was 1:30 when we got back to the pickup. By the time we got there, another guy had to drive all the way home to go to work, to be at work the next morning at like 7:30. So it was rough, and we couldn't find the elk trail we went down in there with. So we walked across a rock slide and fallen, and I don't know how many times I fell because the rack hanging down was so steep. the rack would catch the ground and push me over. Um, yeah, it was miserable. Plus, I think we left his hindquarters. We took all his shoulders and back strap and neck meat out. First, we split that. Plus, I put the horns on and then went out. And the next morning, brother-in-law and I went in and uh, packed the hindquarters out, which they were a load by themselves. There was plenty because it took us half the day to get in and out of there. But big bull, like I said, we just glassed them up. Um, just went after them. Don't be afraid to get after it. I mean, it's going to be miserable, but if you want to be successful and get a good bull, sometimes you got to just go. There's not easier ways to get them, especially these bigger bulls. They're not going to stay up by the road. And this bull was about as far down as you could go because there was if you went too far, it was private. So they knew where they were safe because nobody's probably going to drop in there except us, who was stupid enough to do that. But yeah, this country used to produce some good bulls. There's still a few good bulls coming out of it, but it's gotten, I would say, it's probably gotten over 100 last year. So there's not quite as many, but we had pretty good, pretty good season there. We didn't get a cow, but shooting 4 6 point bulls in less than 48 hours was pretty cool. You don't get to do that very often, and we've yet to repeat that.